exactly what it was, either my performance or some light racism. But here's where I'm going with this.
So this is a satire piece that says clearly.
Of course, it's so obvious. It's a satire. I have not ever heard any of this, and anyone who speaks English as a third language could pick up that, like, this is obviously a joke. A basketball player wants people in the stands. They're not surprised that there are.
We got to get to Steven Smith's comments too, because they're really fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah. And the only thing I wanted to point out here, guys, is he has this on screen for all of them to look at. And the number one comment says, I don't know what's funnier, this post or the comment section of those don't realize this is a satire page. Well done. It's right here as the first to comment, the most upvoted comment.
In today's video, Sam Seder absolutely destroys Patrick Bet-David about PBD's political views and business. Patrick Bet-David loves to act like he's just a truth-telling businessman, but Sam Seder shows how he's really just another MAGA grifter making millions off his audience while pushing billionaire-friendly talking points. Sam Seder breaks down exactly how Patrick Bet-David sells the hustle dream, protects the ultra-rich, and acts like he's fighting the system, when in reality, he's cashing in on it big time. So let's dive in and watch how Sam Seder shuts down Patrick Bet-David in this heated debate.
So the WNBA says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Caitlyn Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Caitlyn Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right? So let's go through this. Caitlyn Clark absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped sharply after Clark was sidelined. Before the injury, the lowest ticket available for Fever's matchup in Chicago was $86. For the game in Washington, fans needed at least $41 to get in. After the news of Clark's absence, those get-in prices fell to $25 from.
Wait until he sees how far the tickets plummet when the Lakers play without LeBron. Like, this is not news at all.
This is like anybody who follows any type of sports understands this. She is a superstar. She is like, it's like LeBron or Jordan or going to see, Tiger Woods when he first came on the scene. Like, of course. It is completely. I mean, listen. I grew up in Worcester. We got the Worcester Red Sox from Pawtucket, and there are minor leaguers who, like, people come out to see because they're going to get up into the majors or something like that. And if that guy's not playing that day, people won't even go. Never mind pay for less ticket. They just like, fuck it, I'm not going to go. Like, I want to see that player.
Well, don't worry. He brought in sports analyst Stephen A. Smith, who hasn't been bending over backwards into a pretzel.
I will tell you something right now. Stephen A. Smith got paid a big chunk of money to be there. I'm going to bet that. I would bet any amount of money I have that he's being paid to be there.
Damn.
On PBD?
Oh, yeah.
Did they offer you money when you came on?
They flew me down. They put me up at a, shitty corporate Marriott hotel. That was fine.
Marriott, nice.
But
So first off, Patrick Bet-David brings up the WNBA and Caitlyn Clark's ticket prices dropping when she's hurt, and Sam Seder just calmly points out what literally anyone who's ever watched sports already knows. When a star player doesn't play, ticket prices drop. It's the most obvious thing ever. But Patrick Bet-David tries to spin this into some big commentary about women's sports and market value, when really he just reveals that he doesn't understand basic sports economics at all. Then Sam Seder points out the real hustle. Patrick Bet-David acts like he's all about telling it like it is and standing up for the little guy, but he's really just grifting his audience with billionaire-friendly talking points and flashy, empty culture war stuff. PBD says he's against the elites, but guess what? He's literally defending the exact policies that help the richest people squeeze everyone else. Sam Seder also exposes how Patrick Bet-David brings on big names like Stephen A. Smith and pays them big checks just to legitimize his brand. And here's a fact that backs up Sam's point. Billionaires in America saw their wealth increase by over $2 trillion during the pandemic, while everyday people struggled. That's not because we were too focused on whether WNBA players make enough. It's because guys like Patrick Bet-David want to distract us with these sideshows instead of talking about real economic policy.
I had a conversation in the green room, and because like I'm trying to figure out like what the fuck's going on here. And it turns out that like may know used to have like a multi-level marketing insurance company.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now he has a business consulting company, and apparently like his office is on a small airfield. There is a big building and a smaller building, which is the studio. And the big building has like, I was told, when I go into these situations, it's all I do is try and find information like this. Like 50 business consultants who are, that I have a feeling it's probably a similar dynamic, where maybe they work on commission or whatever it is. The Patrick Bet-David show is a lost leader. It is not designed to make money. It is designed to create an image around him. So if you go back and you look at like at one point he interviewed Kobe, I am quite sure that interview cost anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. That he hires them to come to an event, interviews him, and then makes it like it's like an interview.
Same thing like Tom Brady.
Yeah, this happens all the time at conferences. Happens all the time. And this is a business model. And it's a business model. It's whatever. I mean, that's fine. But we look at this and we go like, how can people, like, how can he even be like, why does he do this? Like, he clearly has no idea what he's reading half the time. He doesn't really think about this stuff. I mean, I'm sure he has an ego and wants to be, on TV or whatnot, but it's a business proposition. It creates a celebrity out of him. Having Stephen A. Smith there, as opposed to me, like for me, I was just wondering, like, why are they paying for me to come down there? Like, how do they make money off of this?
Really good numbers. I mean, it was a main topic of discourse on the internet. I mean, you kind of hammered him, and that was.
Oh, for me, it was great. Yeah. For me, it was fucking great. But I'm thinking from his perspective, like, it's not like he's gonna get a new audience in. It's not like a bunch of like Majority Report viewers are gonna be like, "Hey, this Patrick Bet-David guy, I really," and I look at the numbers his show does. I don't know. Maybe it was 500,000 views on that. Maybe less. I have no idea. But like, there's no way it pays for itself. Whatever. It was like $600 to fly me down. I never saw the bill, but I'm assuming, down to Florida and back and like put me up in the hotel. It couldn't have been less than $200 or something. And Stephen A. Smith, he's not staying at that Marriott and he's not flying coach. And in fact, he's not going down there without money. Like if they pay him $5 or $10,000 to go on there, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
So first off, Patrick Bet-David brings up the WNBA and Caitlyn Clark's ticket prices dropping when she's hurt, and Sam Seder just calmly points out what literally anyone who's ever watched sports already knows. When a star player doesn't play, ticket prices drop. It's the most obvious thing ever. But Patrick Bet-David tries to spin this into some big commentary about women's sports and market value, when really he just reveals that he doesn't understand basic sports economics at all. Then Sam Seder points out the real hustle. Patrick Bet-David acts like he's all about telling it like it is and standing up for the little guy, but he's really just grifting his audience with billionaire-friendly talking points and flashy anti-culture war stuff. PBD says he's against the elites, but guess what? He's literally defending the exact policies that help the richest people squeeze everyone else. Sam Seder also exposes how Patrick Bet-David brings on big names like Stephen A. Smith and pays them big checks just to legitimize his brand. And here's a fact that backs up Sam's point. Billionaires in America saw their wealth increase by over $2 trillion during the pandemic, while everyday people struggled. That's not because we were too focused on whether WNBA players make enough. It's because guys like Patrick Bet-David want to distract us with these sideshows instead of talking about real economic policy. Sam Seder basically pulls back the curtain on how Patrick Bet-David operates, and it's pretty eye-opening. Patrick Bet-David isn't really trying to have these honest, thoughtful debates or deeply engage with the ideas. The whole setup is a marketing funnel. It's about image building and pumping up Patrick's brand so he can sell more of his business consulting or draw people into his orbit of hustle culture nonsense. And Sam Seder breaks it down perfectly. You know, PBD's background in MLM is super telling. Multi-level marketings are literally built on hype, persona, and selling the dream, not the actual product. So Patrick Bet-David knows exactly what he's doing. He books big flashy names, Kobe, Tom Brady, Stephen A. Smith, not for any kind of authentic discussion but to project credibility and build a celebrity entrepreneur aura around himself. And here's the kicker. Sam Seder exposes how all of this is basically a grift on working people. Patrick Bet-David claims to be anti-elite, pro-freedom, pro-entrepreneur, but the actual policies he supports, tax cuts for billionaires, deregulation that screws workers, union busting, do nothing for regular folks.
And it's a lost leader because it makes Patrick Bet-David look like he's a real person.
So you think it's all just about his image? He wants to be a celebrity. He wants to hang out with Joe Rogan and go to Mar-a-Lago?
I don't think it's just ego. I think it is a lost leader for his business consulting business. So he makes money on the other side.
So it's like money laundering kind of?
No, it's like
for taxes?
No, it's like I remember an interview with who's that fucking guy from the Man Show, not Kimmel, but the other guy, Corolla. When he started his podcast, I remember reading an interview where he's like, I wanted to make money when I was not working. And so I invented Mangria. And he makes money off his podcast, or did, or whatever. I don't know what he's doing now. He made money off the podcast, but the podcast was a way to sell Mangria.
Right.
And he made a ton. It's possible he made even more money on Mangria. For Patrick Bet-David,
it's his Alpha Brain. That's how Joe Rogan was making a shit ton of money, was that Alpha Brain, the supplements he was selling back in the day.
It is a lost leader. So he will lose money on the podcast, but he will make it back times 2 or 3 on the business consulting side, because all of a sudden he has credibility. And so business consultants will come to him because he's out there espousing business wisdom all the time. That's what it is for him.
He also, at one point, I don't know if he still is, but at one point he was writing young adult novels that he hawked on his show. I don't know if you were paying attention to PBD.
I did not pay attention.
But at the end of every video, he'd be like,
but
honestly,
check out my
adult novel at the description.
I mean, and particularly as I start, I can start to see the shadows of retirement. Like I'm thinking, like, what is my Mangria? And I can't really come up with one, but
if you present a decent business model for the Vanguard, you could get an equity stake for real cheap, Sam. I'm sure it would pay dividends down the line. We don't do corporate ad reads.
You know what you got to do? You've got to have like a little graphic in the background. Buy this desk. You can buy this desk at our Vanguard merch store or something like that.
The way Sam Seder explains it, Patrick's show is basically one giant marketing funnel. It's not really about making money directly from views or YouTube ads. It's a loss leader designed to build Patrick's brand as this business guru and thought leader, which then drives a ton of money to his consulting business and other side hustles. Think about it like this. You lose some money on flashy interviews with celebs and big production costs, but you rack in way more later selling overpriced courses, consulting packages, or whatever shady hustle you're pushing. Sam Seder compares it to Carola's Mangria or Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain. The show is just the hook. The real money is in selling you products, programs, or some kind of self-improvement snake oil. And you can see this everywhere with Patrick. He hawks young adult books, business seminars, and all sorts of nonsense to entrepreneurs. It's basically the Tony Robbins hustle model. Build an image, sell a dream. On top of that, let's not forget, Patrick Bet-David pushes a lot of regressive economic ideas that actively hurt working people. He champions tax cuts for the ultra-rich, deregulation, and even union busting, all while claiming he's the common sense business guy. Meanwhile, like I said a while ago, billionaires have made trillions during the pandemic, while regular people are drowning in medical debt and can't afford rent.